Hi everyone, good evening. I thought I'd record a quick video based on some information from one of the channel's subscribers that I hadn't come across, probably because I've been too busy playing with my new drone and scouting areas for my next tarp camp before it gets too cold. But what was brought up to me was the fact that a couple of days ago the European Union released a report warning all of its citizens to get to stockpile emergency supplies. The article I found is a couple of articles actually. One of them was linked to Ukraine and is all in Ukrainian or Russian or whatever they speak there. So I did do a double check just to make sure that it wasn't sort of misinformation that had been put out by Russia, because the warning from the EU is kind of specifically about going to war with Russia. They've also cited a couple of other reasons as well. I'll read you the article and I'll put it up on camera too. So it says here, this is in Newsweek, which is usually behind a paywall, but I've managed to get the article for some reason. It says people living in the European Union should stockpile emergency supplies in the event of war breaking out or another major emergency, a new report has advised. Now this is dated 31st of October 2024, so a couple of days ago. The report on Europe's civilian and military preparedness, published on Wednesday, was written by former Finnish President Sauli Niinisto in his capacity as Special Advisor to the President of the European Commission. It says here, the report notes the EU was not prepared for either the COVID-19 pandemic or Russia's aggression against Ukraine, and that it needs to move from reaction to proactive preparedness. Oh, that's a good name for a channel, isn't it? Proactive preparedness. A bit of a mouthful, though. A bit of a mouthful. As part of this strategy, the EU should advise households to be prepared to be sufficient for a minimum of 72 hours in the event of an emergency. The report says it advises member states to provide its citizens with guidelines on stockpiling, evacuations, and how to access emergency services, among other things. Now, us preppers know that that's the sort of thing that you should know about anyway. But bearing in mind about 1% of the population currently know what they would do in an emergency. A survey cited in the report outlines various essential supplies for households to have in case of emergency, including stockpiles of food, drinks and medicine, a flashlight and battery-powered radio. Obviously, we want more than one of each of those. The advice aims to prepare EU citizens for emergencies ranging from another pandemic to extreme weather or armed aggression. COVID pandemic prompted people around the world to suddenly start buying up goods to stockpile, leading to shortage of certain items, i.e. loo roll. So there's obviously a report that's come out, which I'll try and get that. While the report does not cite Russian aggression as the only possible threat, it cites it as a major one. And there's been other headlines saying that it's all about Russia, it's all about Russia, it's all about Russia. Now I'm thinking, well, does that mean, do they think that Ukraine is losing and that Russia's about to do what everyone said they were going to do, which is they'll start taking over portions of Europe, even though the Russians have said no, they're not going to do that, although they did say they're not going to invade Ukraine as well. It's hard to know who to believe, isn't it? Or does it mean there's going to be a major escalation after the US election and then NATO's going to go in? And if NATO goes in proper, then there will be war across Europe, definitely, without a doubt, because we're all part of NATO, aren't we? And we've, so yeah, it's difficult to say. So let me have a look at the report, see if we can get that up here. Safer Together, Strengthening Europe's Civilian and Military Preparedness and Readiness. It's a big report. I'll stick a link in the description. That'd be the easiest thing to do. There might be some good prepping advice in there. Building mutual resilience, public-private cooperation. Yeah, there's a few. Empowering citizens as the backbone of societal resilience and preparedness. Yeah, we had all that. Resilience and preparedness. But one thing I did come across, though, which was a bit odd, was, well, not odd, it's something I may have missed. Now, I did, as did a number of other channels, did a report a while back with regards to Oliver Dowden. I'm just going to try and find this. Yeah, so when I did this report about Oliver Dowden, the Conservative Deputy Prime Minister, who for the second time had warned British public that we should be preparing for things to go backwards, you know, so have some torches, have some candles and that kind of thing. But he never really cited what it was about, what it was, you know, what we're all kind of speculating. What do you know? What does he know? In the meantime, all the government officials and the elites are building bunkers, and we thought, well, something's obviously going on, something in the background, but we're not being told what for, we're just being told to prepare. But weirdly, I've come across this headline, and I must have completely missed this. So this is dated, this is in the Daily Express. It is behind a paywall, but I've managed to kind of circumvent that at the moment. This was published on the 22nd of May this year, 2024, and it says, Brits given act now warning to stockpile 3 days of food in case of enemy attack. Now, I don't remember there ever being a specific thing about enemies attacking. Oliver Dowden is to warn that attacks from UK's enemies could trigger where Brits need to stay indoors for a period of days. It doesn't really make proper English sense. But yeah, they're talking about British families being urged to stockpile 3 days' worth of food and water to build national resilience amid growing threats from China, Russia, Iran and North Korea. He will call on people to plan for being without access to key services in the wake of prolonged power cuts, cyber attacks and flooding. Now, remember, some of that was mentioned. He said Brits should stock up on analogue capabilities. I remember that. That were once a staple of every home up and down the country, such as candles, torches and wind-up radios, to build up each Briton's personal resilience. This was another thing. In the speech today, the Sunak loyalist, basically Oliver Dowden, will go a step further by encouraging people to ensure they have enough food and water to survive for 3 days without going out of the house. I don't remember that being mentioned. And then it goes on to say about, he's not trying to be alarmist, was presenting common sense. But then there's another link to that in the same date, May. Here we go. It's in the same article, beg your pardon. Finnish people are encouraged to stock up. Now, bear in mind, this EU warning has come from the ex-Finnish Prime Minister, who now has done some sort of report for the EU. Finnish people are encouraged to stock up on food and water and be ready to shelter indoors by taping up any gaps in their windows before waiting calmly for instructions over the radio. I don't remember coming across any of that at all. But it was obviously published, but it wasn't in all the other stuff that I came across at the time. I may have completely missed it and other people may have covered it, I don't know, but I'm just letting you know now. In 2023, Mr. Dowden brought in an emergency alert system allowing Brits' smartphones to know about potential crisis, which we all disabled, didn't we? Because if they were going to come up with another crap like pandemic or something, we didn't want to know. And so I know that I turned it off. I've turned it on now because I suppose I want to kind of know if there's missiles on the way. But yeah, so that was it was just a bit odd that came up, and I completely missed that before. But anyway, thanks to the subscriber Andy who highlighted this about the EU. So something's definitely going down. I thought everything had kind of gone a bit quiet, really, all in the lead up to the American elections. And I did say on a previous video that once all the elections are over and we get into January, February next year, after the inauguration of whoever wins, if things haven't kicked off by then prepping for me really is just going to be a maintenance phase, and certainly not being alarmed about anything really. If it doesn't kick off by then, I don't think it's going to. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, but I'm not going to spend my life checking for emergencies. Someone will knock on my door and let me know if it gets that bad. To be honest, I've got preps to the hilt, and I won't be doing too much more. There'll also be an upcoming channel big update, a very big update, because I've got a lot of things going on over the next year that I want to document, and I want to tie it all in with preparedness, as well as other activities, outdoor stuff as well. So there's going to be a big change to the channel. When I say a big change, it wonn't really change. There'll just be more stuff, but all kind of related in a way, if you know what I mean. But I'll do another video to explain. Anyway, thought I'd just cover that quickly. I've not really seen it anywhere else on the mainstream news, as usual. Hope that helps. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching and stay prepared.